I love you to, you know, so to answer your question, I haven't always been interested, but I think that a lot of the ingredients for my life just came together and produced that. But I do have to convince my mother now that I'm not crazy, because I think she's worried.
You just have the fantasy. You're not going to go into all the rest of it.
Oh, that's even crazy to say that. Yeah, I fantasize about killing you. I won't do it.
On paper.
On paper.
Always on paper.
I'm always looking for my next victim for my book.
So what is the biological background on, you know, what did they use as a biological explanation for serial killers?
Just like how certain people are predisposed. For instance, if you have alcoholism that runs in your family, it passes down. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. But they did do a test of Bundy's brain. His brain was just as normal as anyone else's. He just liked to kill people. He liked to, you know, get off with his sexual frustration. And college girls and everything, that just did it for him.
Well, your father said he was in the fantasy, but his son woke up in it.
For Dahmer, yeah. For Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
And I once heard something really weird. When putting all this together, it's interesting, all the serial killer information that I recall. When Jeffrey Dahmer was first caught, they were supposedly thought that he didn't have black victims because he didn't like chocolate. I don't know why he actually. It's crazy coming from me, from a serial killer who's, yeah, he didn't like chocolate, and so he didn't then venture that way. Or maybe it's just that there was a particular shade of black that he didn't like. I don't know. But he worked in a chocolate factory, and so he said that, you know, he can't do that to black people.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. But then later on, I did hear that he did have an actual black victim, so I don't know. It could just be urban legend. But there is one that we know of that is still on the loose. He's been killing in New York, leaving bodies in the sand. The Long Island killer.
Is that where they found the bodies?
In the sand dunes. It's believed that he's a police officer. No one's really sure yet, though. They have 2 police officers in mind, but so that's one that you have to be careful of. Then there's another one in, I believe, in Canada, who kills women along a particular highway, and they're usually Native women that he's killing and leaving. So those are at least 2 there. No, I take that back. There's one more. There's one who's killing in the Smoky Mountains. So if you're going ahead and camping anytime soon, don't go there.
Yeah.
Anything else? With my sick and twisted mind. One thing about Thou Shall Not is that I wanted to be able to use my theology degrees, because my mom was so disappointed that, you know, I never went into ministry or anything. So I had to go ahead and use that degree. Had to pay for it some way or another. And so that's how that came up. Well, I just want a different take of the whole 7 thing anyway, because 7 is very Catholic in comparison to the 10 Commandments, which is completely universal in Christianity. And when you take theology and you tweak it and you twist it, you can get some really psycho motives and thoughts going along. And believe it or not, you will find those people as well. When I was in college, there was one guy who he thought that he was supposed to marry a girl, and I went to a Christian college, so that meant that girls lived in one dorm, guys lived in the other dorm, and they couldn't actually go to each other's dorms. They had to only meet in a common area. You know, it was the whole kind of girls don't wear pants, only long skirts kind of thing. One day he decided that he had a message from God that he was supposed to marry some girl who lived on the 12th floor. Hilarious. It's hilarious actually not partaking in it, but it was hilarious to watch. So this big football player looking guy runs through the common area, past the girls' section, running through the halls because he didn't know where she lived. So he's running each floor, calling her name, Andrea!
Really?
Yes! Security had to be called and everything. It was absolutely hilarious. Of course, he got kicked out after that. But you can't help but wonder about his mental state. Psychosis.
Yeah, that triggers.
Yeah. And that triggered. What made him actually then act on his crush, his obsession? Another interesting thing is the, have you ever heard the phrase, don't drink the Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
Do you know where it's from?
Yeah.
Mass murder, suicide. We're not for sure who actually committed suicide and who actually made the drink. It wasn't actually Kool-Aid, but the drink itself. We're always dealing with the threat that the person next to us or close to us could be wanting to do us harm. It's up to us to actually stay ahead of the game, to pay attention to our surroundings, wherever you go. If you're outside after night, have that car key between your front finger and your middle finger. You know, just in case. It's better to be prepared than not. If someone comes up to you and you are in public and he tells you to get in the car, don't get in the car. That is the worst thing you could do. Scream for bloody murder right then and there. Let people think that you're crazy. It is better to be crazy than to be dead. So, with that in mind, that concludes my little talk on serial killers. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I'll be able to do it again. Thank you. Cool.